Good morning. I'm gonna show you the tools that we're gonna be using for this morning's project. It's gonna be it's not gonna be a full transmission fluid flush, or not. I shouldn't say flush, change, because flushing it would require the machines and stuff. I'm just gonna do a drain and refill. So here's what's gonna capture it, and then from this we're gonna dump it into this here and measure how much came out of it, more or less. And then this is the funnel and the tubing that we're gonna use to put it back in. Now, before you start, you're gonna need, let's see if I can get this off with one hand, 24 millimeter socket, 6-point, 10 millimeter 6-point, and this was 6 millimeter, yeah, 6 millimeter hex socket. Now these two here, these two fit on, what is this, a half, and then this one here fits on, what is this? Nope, correction. This breaker bar here is a half for the 24 millimeter. This one I just took off the piece that I used to take off my tires, and I swapped it with the 24 millimeter. It fits right on there. So if this one's the half, then this one has to be the 1/4. 1/4. Don't know if I mentioned this yesterday. This is the driver's side. You got to turn that wheel all the way to the left so you can have enough room to get up under there. Now, before you get underneath the car itself, you need to make sure you can access the fill plug. Because if not, imagine draining it out and then you can't put anything back. Then you're stuck. Now you got to rent a car or something. So make sure you can get access to that first. All right, so this is the ramps. I went and put the car up on the ramps. And you got to kind of be careful when you're turning the wheel. You don't want it to slide off and then this tilt over. And the transmission sits, or the pan sits under this side, under the driver's side here. You turn the wheel right there. There should be enough space to get into. I'm going to show you tomorrow morning. I'm going to let this cool overnight. I'm going to show you tomorrow morning the process. Another thing I wanted to add, before you get up under any vehicle, make sure it's secure on there. You don't want to get up under there and for whatever reason comes crashing down on you and crushing your skull. So make sure beforehand. All right, I don't know if you can see up under there. I might have to get a light because I can't see. I don't know if it's a sun glare or whatnot. That's the first 10 millimeter bolt, and then there's a second one. So I'm going to take those off. I'm not going to be able to put it on video because I gotta, well, maybe I can. See how good I am with one hand. Let's see if that's loose enough. Nope, I'm going to use two hands because I'm not trying to be here all day. Alright, so 2 bolts is out. Get back up under here. Oh, how am I going to do this? It's not that much room. You could pull this off, but there's some clip behind here, and I'm not trying to do all that. So right there is that 24 that we're talking about. You just need access to that. You can push all that back later, but you need access to that. So off camera, again, I'm gonna take that one off. Okay, so ran into a little bit of problem because I have this long breaker bar without the extension. See there, I left a little piece in there. I don't know if you can see it right there. I should have got an extension to come out, because even turning the wheel a little bit left, that's kind of hard because of the fender guard in there and the tire itself. And then my Rhino ramp didn't help much, so it gives you clearance underneath the vehicle, but as far as this, I'm going to take the tire off just to make it easier on myself. So I have it jacked up there, and I put another jack under there just for safety measures, and then we'll continue from there after I get this tire off. Okay, so I was trying to show you a video of when I took it off. It came off so easily. It was just like a slight turn, and that thing came right off. So I have it loose. I put it back on there, just so I don't lose it or it get dirty. But I was trying to record it, and my phone was in the sun, so it heated up too much. All right, so next I'm gonna go underneath and show you. Okay, so now that we got the tire off, put the tire underneath. All right, so now we're under the car. This is more where the phone's facing, this more to the driver's side. That's where the driver side wheel was taken off, so I could access it. And man, that thing came off so easily once I took the tire off. But I hate having to take the tire off and then put it back on. And then of course I got my jacks back there, and then the wheel underneath. All right, so this is the portion right here. I have the oil pan that I'm gonna let it drain into. And yes, I use just a regular oil pan. I don't do my own oil changes. I take it to the dealer, let them do that. But this transmission fluid, I'm doing myself. And I should go get my safety glasses. I don't want nothing splashing in my eye. It's the last thing I want. But before I go back in the house, here's that 6mm hex socket. I'm gonna push it into there, and then I'm gonna turn it, take it out, and then remember you have another little plastic piece in there. Now I would take that out. I would just use the top portion here. See if I can get it off. Whatever. Use the top portion there and take it off by hand with this little piece right here. Not with this, because that you don't want to break that little plastic piece. Then you're gonna have to drop this, and then it's a whole nother story in itself. I believe this has 10 bolts going all the way around it, and then you got to move some stuff over here just to access it. You don't want to do that. I'm gonna do that in another video, but not now. Because I'm gonna, when I do the next video, I'm gonna clean out this drain pan or transmission fluid pan, and I'm gonna change the filter in there, and I'm gonna clean out the magnets in there. But just drain and refill for now. All right, I'm gonna try and record this one hand. Make sure I got the right angle. Make sure I spin this bad boy the proper way. Okay, righty tighty, lefty loosey. I don't know if it's going the right way the first time. Okay, let me put this phone down. I don't want to mess this part up. Oh, fuck. Okay, righty tighty, lefty loosey. Remember that initial turn, it's on there tight. So I'm going to now use my hand. And some should come out because of the way the vehicle's tilted. Make sure this portion's open here. Caps on. I got on my glasses, by the way. And some people said this stuff smells, but we'll see. Oh, there it is. There it is. It's not a bad smell. And that thing is flowing. My car is at currently 96,000 miles and some change. And every time I go to the dealer, oh, it's a sealed transmission. Oh, it's for the lifetime of the vehicle. Okay, how long is the vehicle gonna last? Nobody can tell me. It's only because I went on a Toyota Nation forum and I kept reading up, and somebody said, hey, think logically. What fluid lasts a lifetime? And then I thought about it. I'm like, yeah, that's true. So I'm changing it out because transmissions are expensive. Not just the transmission itself, but the labor to put it in. So change it out. What did the fluid cost me? $54 on Amazon. Delivered it to my house a week later. I'm just change out the fluid. Get it done. There's a cap sitting in there. Okay, it's starting to get to its low end. After it stops or starts dripping, I'm gonna go back in there. That same little tool. This time I'm gonna take it off of here. Where is it? I'm gonna take it off of here and do it by hand because you don't want to break the little plastic piece. I'm gonna continue to let that drip for a little more. Hey. It's one of my neighbors. Him and his brother and uncles. All they do is work on cars. They fix them up, put them back on the road, and drive them. Sorry about that. Just trying to get back to it. As you can see, there are the pieces. I was trying to snooze the my Ring video camera, so it's still dripping a little bit. Gonna give it a little bit more. Then we're gonna go back in there. We're going to put the yellow one back in. Actually, yeah, we're gonna put the yellow one back in. Then we're going to put the cap back on. I'm gonna take that off. Take the fluid catcher, put it on the table, measure it, and then go from there. All right, now for that little piece. I'm not gonna wait for it to finish dripping. Okay, gotta make sure it's in there, and then spin that bad boy. And it's not like it's a little frail piece, but it's plastic. You know how it go. Gotta save some money somewhere. I could have made a little metal piece. This thing's kind of slippery. It's coming out right here. shit. Oh, that's... There's the rest of it. All right, so after that's done, we're gonna get back under here and show you the rest. Okay, thankfully half my body's under this car because it's hotter than a bit, but I'm not gonna sit here and wait for this shit to drip out. Oh my God. So I'm gonna take this up, start screwing it back in there. Remember, this portion by hand. You don't want to break that plastic piece. And yes, it takes forever to spin it back up in there. Okay, it feels snug now. Give it a little shake. And where is this thing here? Spin that by hand a little, and some people use that infrared and they're talking about the temperature and all that. I let mine sit overnight. The car has been sitting. I haven't moved it. I let mine sit overnight, so it should be at room temperature, or hopefully whatever the ambient temperature is. Oh, crap! Almost hit myself. And then remember now, everybody, this is up on a ramp, so it's not level. So some of that oil, or I keep saying oil, some of that transmission fluid, since it's sitting at an angle, some of it's sitting back here because it's tilted. All the ones all the fluid in the front, I shouldn't say ones, all the fluid in the front moved back here. Some of it drained out here, but some of it's sitting back here. So you won't really get all of it unless you do that full pan drop that I was talking about earlier, but not in this video. Alright, so I put both pieces in, the little straw linking piece, the plastic piece, and the actual drain plug, and I turned it, make sure it's secure on there because you don't want this leaking out on the road. Not too tight, but just tight enough. And then next, we're gonna measure how much came out of this. All right, now, drag this bad boy out of here. Oh, has some weight to it. As you can see, some of it's still sitting in there. Try and get it to drain into it. You're not gonna get it all. But at least try and get more into there. And we're gonna account for that just a little bit over. So take out my funnel, my fill funnel, take that tubing out. Let me clean off in there. Yes, I'm not gonna reuse this, but still, I don't want like a whole bunch of contaminants in it. Okay, got this from Home Depot. I'll list all the prices and the amounts I paid for everything that I needed here in the description. It has liters and ounces. So now we're gonna take this portion here, pour it into there. by pulling the cap. And it's not up to this level here, so I can pull the cap off safely. And let's see how I'm gonna do this with the phone. It's kind of weird. You hear it sloshing around already. Ooh, yeah. Some of it already got on my table. Do this with one hand. See, some got on my table. Freak. Oh well. Then throw this off to the side. Okay. So you know you spilt some. You know there's still some in there. And let's see if this is this table's not even leveled. Let's put it to the ground over here. What does that say? Well, let me take off the shades. Two quarters came out. A little bit over 64 ounces. No, not 2 quarters. Sorry, correction. 2 liters. A little bit over 2 liters. So we're going to put back that much and a tiny bit more back into the transmission when we go to go fill it. Stay tuned for the next part. Alright, so I didn't know my phone could do that, but I had a screen recorder. I just went to Google, typed in, for me it's liters. I could use ounces, but I put liters to quarts, because those are quarts. One US quart, these are quarts. So I put 2.2 liters to quarts. And that gave me about 2.3 if I remember correctly. And so that's how much I'm going to put back into the transmission. Right now I'm getting the dust out of this thing. You don't really want any particles in there. I mean, the filter would catch most of it, but just still, you don't want no particles in it. Then I'm gonna hook this end up to this and then feed the other end into this portion down under there. And then I'm gonna, I guess, zip tie it to right here, so I think it'll sit something like this. Hopefully. I don't even know how I'm gonna do this, but I'll figure something out. I lost all my coat hangers, so I can't. I should find something to hang this. Or maybe I got something in the back that can hang this. I'll see. Alright, so this is the stuff I got from Amazon. It's 6 of them that came in here. I'm just going to use these, what these things are called. Zip ties to hold out the funnel when I go to do it. So make sure, this is very important. Make sure it says Toyota ATF WS. That's the world standard. When you go on Amazon, the picture's going to look different. It's not going to look like this. But this is how the bottles come. And then here it is, part number 00289 ATF WS. If you don't know, you can go look on the manual online. I don't even know where I put my regular manual. The manual online. Or go check out ToyotaNation.com, the forum. There's a lot of helpful people in there. Okay, this one, I don't remember the price of it, but it was fairly reasonable. This 5/8 is the outside diameter. So the outside portion of it here, 1/2 is the inside diameter, and that's what's gonna, or supposedly should fit there. Okay. All right, so I shoved that piece in there, and then I gotta somehow set it up to right there and have that little piece going into there. We'll see how it works out. I'm gonna really invest in a tripod soon because it gets kind of annoying to stop. And then it looks like I'm here in Florida and it looks like it's about to rain, so I'm trying to get that done. Shove that all the way in as far as possible. And then I'm gonna mount that right here somewhere. It has to hang. Oh, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put it right there. Yep, that's where it's gonna go. Alright, so this is how I got it set up so far. Make sure there's no kinks. There's a little kink right there. And a kink right there. But it should be good overall. So, I'm gonna start with the first model. We'll go get it now. Alright, so took off the first one. It didn't have no like kind of sealer thing on there. And let's see how this works out. Should go check to make sure it's going in there. Yeah, it's going slow. So you can pour it slowly in there. I pour it slowly, so it has some air. I can push the air out the way. Every last drop. And then the second bottle. And then 0.3 of the other one. Alright, so should be 2.3 liters that went back in there. I'm gonna take that off. Make sure the rest of this bottleneck here gets in there. And then we're gonna close it up. Put everything back together again. And then shift it through some gears and do a little test run. Alright, so make sure this fill plug is back on there tight. Not tight AF, but tight enough to where it doesn't come off. I'm gonna tighten this. Alright, so the tire's back on. I forgot to put back in these two little bolts that was on the guard, but I'm gonna reverse it down and then turn the wheel all the way to the left and do that. Alright, so remember before you put back on the tire to put back on that bolt there. And where's the other one? That other bolt right there. Whew. And after I put my tools away, I'm gonna take it out for a little test ride. Make sure I don't hear any weird sounds or anything, or shifting properly at least. Alright, so I'm finished now. Took me longer than I expected. I want to say the whole thing took me, let's see what time it is now. So from about 10 to 1, you could say. So what's that, 3 hours? Or something like that. But yeah, the whole reason why it took me so long is because I kept stopping, having to go back and get stuff, and then I had to make sure the phone didn't overheat, to the camera. And then I had to take off the tire. That I didn't expect, because I seen a video where a gentleman did it with the tire on, but then his wheel was positioned all the way to the left. I couldn't get mine all the way to the left for some reason while the car was off. So I ended up having to take it off and jack it up, make sure it was secure, and jack it up because I don't want the vehicle to fall on me. So then after that, it was pretty much smooth sailing after that. So I'll put the description of all the stuff that you need in the description part. And thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Let me know. Thank you.